This is the second part of a Level 2 Functional Skills Maths paper from Edexcel. In this part you can use a calculator. Question 1. Susie wants to make a dress. To make the dress she needs a piece of fabric with a length of 2 3/4 yards. Fabric is sold in lengths measured in centimeters. 1 inch is equal to 2.54 centimeters. 1 yard is equal to 36 inches. Work out the length of fabric in centimeters. Susie needs to make the dress. You must show you're working. So we've got this in yards. From yards, we're going to convert it to inches first, and then from inches into centimeters. So 2 3/4. We know that 3/4 is 0.75. So 2 3/4 will be 2.75 yards. So if 1 yard is equal to 36 inches, what about 2.75 yards? What's that equal to in inches? So to get from 1 yard to 2.75, we multiplied by 2.75. So we're going to do the same on the other side. So 36 times 2.75, that gives us 99. So 99 inches. Now we've got inches, we're going to have to convert these into centimeters. So 1 inch is equal to 2.54 centimeters. What about 99 inches? So again, to get from 1 to 99, we've multiplied by 99. So we're going to do the same on the other side. So 2.54 times 99 gives us 251.46 centimeters. So we've got the answer. Jamal owns a car paint repair business. He has 375 milliliters of thinner. Jamal has plenty of colour and hardener. He has to mix colour, hardener and thinner in the ratio 2:1:10 to make car paint. Work out the maximum amount of car paint Jamal can make with 375 milliliters of thinner. First of all, let's rewrite the ratio again. So 2:1:10. 2 is for colour, 1 is for hardener, and 10 is for thinner. He's got 375 milliliters of thinner, so it's going to go under thinner. So we're going to have to work out how much hardener and how much colour, and then add them all together to get the amount of car paint. So, given the information we've got and the ratio, what do we multiply 10 by to get 375? And the way to work it out would be to do the reverse. So 375 divided by 10. So that gives us this multiplier here. And that is equal to 37.5. We're going to multiply these two numbers, the 2 and the 1, by 37.5 to get the amounts of colour and hardness. 1 times 37.5 is 37.5. 2 times 37.5 gives us 75. So we've got the amounts of each of these. Now in total, this is going to be 75 add 37.5 add 375. And that is 487.5 milliliters. That's the maximum amount of car paint that Jamal can make with 375 milliliters of thinner. Aaron is a festival promoter. He says, in 2019 I sold 105,276 tickets. This is 7% less than the number of tickets I sold in 2018. How many tickets did Aaron sell in 2018? So if we think of 2018, the number of tickets was greater than it was in 2019. So here we have 2018. The tickets, which we don't know how many was. But let's say it was more than the number of tickets in 2019, because we're given that information. So that was equal to 100%. In 2019, this was 7% less. So if we mark this area being equal to the number of tickets in 2019, this is not going to be now 100%, but it will be 93%. So there is a gap here of 7%. So the number of tickets in 2019, which was 105,276 tickets, is equal to 93% of the number of tickets that were sold in 2018. So if we can figure out what 1% is worth, then we can multiply by 100 to get the 2018 number of tickets. So this is where we are at the moment. So we're looking to get 1%. How many tickets is that? So again, to get from 93 to 1%, we need to divide by 93. So we're going to do the same here. So 105,276 divided by 93 gives us 1,132 tickets. So if you think of this bar here being split into 93 small parts. Each and every one of them would make 1%, so that 1% is equal to 1,132 tickets. Now we want to work out the number of tickets that were sold in 2018, so that means this whole area here, so 100%. So if we know 1%, we can work out 100% by multiplying by 100. So we need to multiply 1,132 by 100. That is a case of adding the 2 zeros at the end, and that gives us 113,200 tickets. Show a check of your answer. So what we did here was reverse percentages. We had a discounted or a reduced amount, and knowing that it was reduced by 7%, we went back and worked out the 100% amount. So to check this now, we can easily work out what is 93% of 113,200, and if that matches the 105,276 tickets, then we've done the calculations correctly. So 93% is 93 out of 100 of the 113,200 tickets, and it gives us 105,276. So that shows we've done the calculations correct. Write down the coordinates of point A. Right, so we start with the x-axis. So where in the x-axis is the point is here at -4. And then we go to the y-axis. So where is this in the y-axis? And that is at 0. B is the point 2, 0. On the grid, draw a circle with diameter AB. So let's plot point B first. So the x coordinate is 2, which is here, and the y coordinate is 0. So that means it's right here. So we're going to have to draw a circle with diameter AB. So diameter is twice the radius, so there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 squares. So halfway through, which is here, this would be the center of the circle. So the circle will need to draw it. It's going to go through these points. Okay, so we'll get the protector out and we'll place the center of the protector, the center of the circle. On paper, you can use a pair of compasses, so as long as you align them correctly, you should be able to do exactly the same thing on paper. There we go. And there we have the circle. Here is a diagram of a doll's house Jaden has made. Two faces are each in the shape of a pentagon with a vertical line of symmetry. All of the faces are triangular. The base angles of each pentagon are right angles. Jaden wants to cover all the surfaces of a doll's house with paint. He knows the total area of the base and the roof is 1.3824 square meters. Jaden has enough paint to cover 3.5 square meters. Has Jaden got enough paint to cover all the surfaces of the doll's house? Show why you think this. Okay, so we know that the total area of the base and the roof is 1.3824. So that covers the base here. And also the roof, as we can see. And of course this. So what we need to work out is this side here. And that matches with this. So we multiply it by 2. And then we've got the pentagons, the two pentagons. But let's just work out this side first. So we've got the dimensions of this side, and they are 0.96 and this is the same as this, so it's going to be 0.63. So we're going to multiply them to work out the area. So 0.96 times 0.63 is 0.6048 square meters. And we multiply this by 2 because, as we said, this side will be equal to that. So 2 times 0.6048 gives us 1.2096 square meters. Now let's work out the area of the pentagon. So if I just draw the pentagon, or sketch it to be more accurate, here, this is how it looks. So we've got the dimensions given to us. We've got 0.7 meters. We've got here 0.63 meters. So this is going to be the same. So we can easily work out this rectangular area here by doing 0.7 times 0.63. Which is 0.441 square meters. Now we've got to work out the area of this triangle here. For the area, we need the height and the base. The base is going to be the same as this, so 0.7 meters. Whereas the height we don't know, and we're going to work it out. So we were given some information that the pentagon has a vertical line of symmetry, which means it's going to go through like this. And that vertical line of symmetry, as it's been given to us here, from this point to this, that is equal to 0.75 meters. So that's in total 0.75. To work out from this point to this point, we're going to have to take away 0.63, which is this length here. So 0.75, take away 0.63, that leaves us with 0.12. So this is 0.12, and to work out the area of the triangle, we go base times height divided by 2. So base is 0.7 times height, which is 0.12, and then divide the answer by 2. And this gives us 0.042 square meters. So this and this will make the area of the pentagon. So if we add them together, and that gives us 0.483 square meters for the area of the pentagon. But there are two pentagons, as we've seen in the picture. There's this one here as well. So we're going to multiply this by 2. 2 times 0.483 gives us 0.966. So let's just add the different areas together now. This is the two pentagons. The roof and the base all together were 1.3824. And we've got to also add these two rectangles that we worked out earlier. Which was this one here. So 1.2096. And adding these three gives us 3.558 square meters. He's got only enough paint to cover 3.5 square meters. So has he got enough? No, he hasn't. So we're going to say no, and then 3.558. Here is a formula. Find the value of m when a is equal to 8 and y is equal to 3.5. Give your answer correct to 3 decimal places. So let's just replace a with 8 and y with 3.5. So M is equal to 2.67 times A, which is 8. If there is no operation sign in there, it means it's multiplication. And then we've got 4 lots of Y, so that is 4 lots of 3.5. So M is equal to 2.67 times 8 is equal to 21.36 divided by 4 times 3.5 gives us 14. Now if we do using a calculator again, 21.36 divided by 14, and it gives us 1.5257714 and so on. We need to write the answer correct to 3 decimal places. So 3 digits after the decimal point. We've got to stop here, but looking at the 7 means we've got to round the 5 up. So this becomes a 6. Digits in front remain the same. So then we have 1.526. Nikos owns a restaurant. The table shows information about the number of customers that visited the restaurant on each of the 31 nights in August. The mean number of customers per night in July was 32. Nikos thinks the mean number of customers per night in August was more than the mean number of customers per night in July. Is Nikos correct? Show why you think this. Okay, so we're working with the mean, and we know that generally when you work with the mean, you say you add them all together and divide by how many there are. So in this particular case, though, we haven't got a definite number of customers. We've got a range. So it says 1 to 15 customers. Frequency was 2, so 2 of them, 2 nights. So as we're not given a specific number of customers, we're going to have to use the midpoint, somewhere in the middle, so between 1 and 15, and that is 8 customers. And it's 2 nights, so we're going to do 8 times 2. The midpoint here is going to be 23, which we're going to multiply by 7, and that is 161. The midpoint between 31 and 45 is 38, which we're going to multiply by 12, and that gives us 456. The midpoint between 46 and 60, that is 53, times 10, that gives us 530. So adding them all together, that gives us 1,163. So that's how many customers. And there was over 2, 7, and 12, and 10. That's 31 nights in total. So 1,163 divided by 31, that gives us 37.516 and so on. So this is the mean number of customers in August. And Nikos thinks that the mean number of customers per night in August was more than the mean number of customers per night in July. And that is correct, because 37.516, that is greater than 32. So we're going to say yes, 37.52. Let's just round it to 2 decimal places. It's not going to make any difference. In fact, it would be good to round it to 38, given that we're talking about people, but it's not going to make any difference in terms of the marks you get. And then we've got to show a check of your mean calculation. So if we just reverse this, if we do 38 times, so reversing this, times 31, does it give us about 1163? So 38 gives us 1178, which is very close to this. So that shows we've done the calculation correct. Benji sells items in a shop and online. In a survey, he asked 100 people if they prefer to buy items in a shop or online, are aged under 25 years, 25 to 40 years, or over 40 years. 56 of the 100 people preferred to buy online. 27 of the people aged under 25 years preferred to buy online. 12 of the 33 people aged 25 to 40 years preferred to buy in a shop. Of the people aged over 40 years, 8 preferred to buy online and 17 preferred to buy in a shop. One person who prefers to buy in a shop is chosen at random to win a prize. What is the probability that this person is aged under 25 years? You must show your working. To help us organize all this information, we're going to use a two-way table. So we've got these two options in the shop or online. So shop or online. And we've got these different ages. So 3. We've got 25 years. We've got 25 to 40. And we've got over 40. So there are 100 people altogether. So this total here should be 100. And total here. So let's fill in these cells. So 56 of the 100 people prefer to buy online. So online, total for online is 56. So that means that 44 prefer to go to the shop, because 44 and 56 makes 100. 27 of the people aged under 25 years prefer to buy online. So under, this should have been under 25 years. So under 25 years online That is 27 of them. 12 of the 33 people aged 25 to 40 years prefer to buy in a shop. So there are 33 people aged 25 to 40 in total, and 12 of them prefer to buy in a shop. Of the people aged over 40 years, 8 prefer to buy online, and 17 prefer to buy in a shop. So that makes it 25 in total over 40. Now we've got 3 gaps which we can fill ourselves. This one here. 12 add what gives us 33. That is 21. We could also do it as 33 take away 12, and that gives us 21. Now, this and this and this together should give us 100. So these two together, 33 and 25, that makes 58. If I take that away from 100, it should give me the missing value here. So 100 take away 58, that gives me 42. So now there are in total 42 people under 25 years old. Under 25 years. So now 42. Take away the 27 who shop online. It's going to give us the number of people who prefer to go to the shop and are under 25. And that's 15. So one person who prefers to buy in a shop is chosen at random to win a prize. So we're focusing on those who prefer to buy in a shop. And the total for those who buy in a shop, or who want or prefer to buy in a shop, is 44. So out of 44, because the question is, what's the probability that this person is aged under 25 years? So that is 15 of them. So 15 44ths. And that's the answer. Yesterday Benji made 48 sales in the shop, 76 sales online. What fraction of the total number of sales made yesterday were in the shop? Write your fraction in its simplest form. So in the shop, we made 48 sales. Out of 48 add 76, so that is 14. So 48 out of 124. We're going to simplify this. We can divide both numbers by 2, so 48 halved, that's going to give us 24. 124 divided by 2 halved, that gives us 62. We can keep going because we can still divide both numbers by 2, so that gives us 12, and that's 31. And let's check, can we divide them by 2 again? We can divide the 12, but we can't divide the 31 to give us the whole number. Can we divide them by 3? We can't divide the 31 by 5, and so on. No. 7 doesn't work either, so we're going to stop here and going to write 12 out of 31. Maisie is designing packaging for a perfume bottle. The packaging is in the shape of a triangular prism with length 160 millimeters. Maisie has drawn the front elevation and the plan of the prism on the centimeter grid below. Maisie needs to draw the side elevation to complete the design drawings. Draw the side elevation for Maisie. Remember to complete the scale. So we've got the plan, and we need to draw the side elevation. The side elevation is this one here. Now, as we've got the plan, and the plan includes this length here that we need, we can use that information to help us draw. So, on the plan, that length is presented here, and it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 squares that it's been represented by. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And in terms of the width, these two lengths here, when you look at them from the side, they're gonna be as high as this, So where can we find that height? And that's here, as you can see. So that is 1, 2, 3, 4 squares. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4 squares up. Of course, you'd use a ruler to draw this, which is not possible here on screen. Now we need to complete the scale. It says 1, 2. So 1 square here, which is also 1 centimeter. So 1 centimeter on the grid is equal to how many centimeters there in reality. So first of all, this is given in millimeters, so let's convert that to centimeters. There are 10 millimeters in a centimeter, so this is going to be equal to 16 centimeters. So dividing 160 by 10. So as you can see, that which was equal to 16 centimeters, we represent it here with 8 squares, which is 8 centimeters. So 8 centimeters on the grid were equal to 16 centimeters in reality. So basically it's double. So I'm going to put a 2 there. And as it's centimeters and centimeters, we can leave the units out and do 1 to 2. The scale is 1 to 2. Lucia is driving to the meeting. She needs to drive for 58 miles on the motorway. The maximum speed limit on the motorway is 70 miles per hour. Lucia will not drive over the speed limit. Work out the minimum time Lucia will spend driving on the motorway. Give your answer correct to the nearest minute. Now, where it says here, work out the minimum time. The minimum time will be if Lucia will drive constantly at 70 miles per hour. If she slows down for whatever reason, then that's going to take us longer. So we're going to work it out as if she will be driving at 70 miles per hour throughout her journey. So 70 miles would take 60 minutes. Because this is miles per hour. So 70 miles per hour. She's only going to do 58 miles though. So that's not going to take 60 minutes. It should take less than that. How many minutes will it take? So just like with the other ratio and proportion questions, we're going to look at what do we need to multiply 70 by to get 58. And to work it out, we go 58 divided by 70. So we reverse the process. And that gives us 0.8287 and so on. So let's just use it as it is. So we're going to multiply 70 by 0.82857. So I haven't rounded, and it's important to not round too early because it affects the answer at the end. So multiplying 60 by the same number, which was 0.82857, gives us 49.7142 minutes. We've got to give the answer correct to the nearest minute, so to the nearest whole number. So that means we need to get rid of the decimal point, looking at the number digit next to the decimal point on the right, that is a 7. So we're going to round this to 50. Minutes. Matt and Gabrielle are planning their wedding. There will be 150 people at the reception. All of the tables at the reception seat a maximum of 8 people, have a circular top of diameter 1.7 meters. Matt and Gabrielle want to put ribbon around the top edge of each table. They will allow for an extra 65 centimeters of ribbon per table for a bow. Ribbon is sold in rolls. Each roll of ribbon is 30 meters in length. How many rolls of ribbon do Matt and Gabrielle need to buy to decorate the minimum number of tables needed at their reception? So first of all, let's work out how many tables are needed overall. So there are 150 people. and one table seats 8 people, so we're going to divide it by 8, and that gives us 18.75 tables. But you can't have part of a table because obviously you have other people who will need to sit, so we can round this to 19 people, although in one of the tables there will be fewer people, fewer than 8. So 19 tables. Now, the diameter of the table is 1.7 meters, and we're going to put ribbon around. So we're talking about circumference. So the formula for the circumference is pi lots of the diameter, or 2 pi r. I'm going to use this one. So if the diameter is equal to 1.7 meters, we're going to do pi, which is 3.142 times 1.7, and that gives us 5.3414 meters of ribbon. So we also need to add an extra 65 centimeters of ribbon per table. So we're gonna do 5.3414 add 0.65. It's important to not add 65 to this because 65 is centimeters and this is meters that we're using here, so it's different unit. And that gives us 5.9914 meters per table. And as we said, there were 19 tables needed, so times 5.9914, and that gives us 113.8366 meters of ribbon in total. Each roll of ribbon is 30 meters in length, so we're going to divide 113.8366 by 30 to see how many rolls we need. And this gives us 3.7945 and so on. So again, we can't say 3 rolls because we need more than 3 rolls, but we can say 4 rolls, and we can have some spare ribbon. That wouldn't make a difference. So 4 rolls. Jana is writing a report about wages. She has this information about the ages and weekly pay of 8 men. Jana wants to draw a diagram to see if there is a relationship between age and weekly pay for these 8 men. So we've got age and weekly pay. Since we're looking at the relationship between 2 pieces of data, 2 sets of data to be more precise, then we're going to draw a scatter diagram. So we'll project age horizontally and weekly pay vertically. Looking at the numbers related to age, What's the lowest? That is 19, and the highest is 53. So maybe 20, 40, 60. Suppose we can do these wider, so if we do 20 here, then we do 40 and 60 here. So 0, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 and 70. Age in years. And weekly pay in pounds here. And this goes up to 686, so about 700. So let's see. $100, $200, $300, $400, $500, $600, $700, $800. And this looks good. So first one, age 27, weekly pay 470. So 27 going up to 470, 450, 470 here. 41, 686. So there is 41 going up to 686. So 650, 60, 70, 80. So about here. 32, 514. 32, 514. 510 would be just fine there. 19, 295. So 19 is here. 295, so that would be about 300. 46, 612. 37, 578. $24, 338. $53, 615. So about 620. So we've drawn a suitable diagram. Let's give it a title as well. So relationship between age and weekly pay. What type of correlation describes the relationship between age and weekly pay for these men? As you can see, the higher the age, the higher the pay. So it's a positive correlation. It's actually a strong positive correlation. So let's just say positive here. Jenna wants to compare the variation in weekly pay for men with the variation in weekly pay for women. She finds the range of weekly pay for a sample of 8 women is £437. Write a comment comparing the variation in weekly pay for men and for women. Support your comment with a calculation. So this is the range for women. What is it for men? The highest weekly pay was 686. The lowest is 295. So let's work out the range. 686 take away 295, that gives us 391. So there is less variation for men. So we're going to say pay for men has less variation. £391. We could say is more consistent. And this is the end of the paper.